Now let's incorporate some updating lifecycle methods into our member list component. Now the first place I actually want to start is with our index.js file. I don't want to render the member list anymore here. I want to go back to rendering routes. So we're going to render routes. We're going to get rid of this import statement, and then we're going to go ahead and import our routes from routes. And then we should see our page refresh here, and everything is appearing in context. So over in our member list component, we added the component didMount method, but now we need to add some updating lifecycle methods. So the first thing I want to add here is administrators. And administrators is going to contain an array of members that are currently listed as administrators. So we're going to create a couple different functions that will help us process this. Number one is our makeAdmin function, and the second is our removeAdmin function. So let's go ahead and bind this for both of these. So we're going to makeAdmin.bind, and then we will removeAdmin. So usually a good idea to do this right away so we don't forget. So let's now create these methods, and the first of these is makeAdmin. So whenever I click on that makeAdmin button, this is what should happen. So we're going to add this new member that has been made an admin to our array of administrators. So we're going to pass email as a parameter into this function, and then we're going to create a variable called administrators. This is going to be set equal to an array, and using our ES6 spread operator, we can push this state administrators, so any currently in state administrators, and we're also going to add our next one. Then we're going to take that value and we're going to use it to set state. So we can just pass administrators into this state object. removeAdmin is going to do the opposite. So we'll add this here. It'll also take in email as a parameter, and our value here, const administrators, is going to be set equal to this state.administrators.filter. So what I'm going to check for here is, does our email match the email that we want to remove? If it does, we're going to pull it out of our list. If it doesn't, we're going to keep it. So we'll send in admin email as our argument, and then we're going to check to make sure that there is no match. So once I've done that, I can add this.setState, and it's going to be the same thing. We're going to set the state with the new value of administrators. Awesome. So let's scroll down a little bit to our render method, and we're going to need to make some changes to the member that we're rendering. Now, the first thing I need to change here is administrators. So I'm going to add admin as a property. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to use this dot state dot administrators dot sum. So our sum function is going to make sure that we have a match. So we're going to say admin email equals member.email. We also need to add our functions here. So let's use makeAdmin. We're going to pass that down as a property, and that will refer to this.makeAdmin. And then the flip of that removeAdmin is this removeAdmin. So let's go over to our member component, and we already have this makeAdmin link that we've seen a few times, but I want this to be a little bit more dynamic. I want a makeAdmin button to appear when it should, and a removeAdmin link to appear when it should also. So we're going to, inside of a JavaScript expression, perform another one of our checks. So we're going to see if admin is true. If it is, then we're going to add this a tag. So I'll just actually cut and paste it onto line 19. So if admin is true, we want to set this to remove admin, and then our onClick is going to be a function here that will return remove admin with email. Great. On the flip side of this, I can use the else, and I'm going to return a different A tag, and this time we're going to have this use make admin. We'll send in the email as the parameter there again, and make admin should be the text of that link. So now that I've added these, I want to make sure to add remove admin to our destructured this.props here so that we have access to that. And I should be able to see this working like a toggle. So everyone is working like a toggle. So cool. The next thing I want to do here is add a few of our lifecycle methods. The first one of these will be called component will update. So component will update is going to set the style. So we'll say this.style equals the object background color, and we'll set it to green. Cool, so this means that once our component has updated, it turns green. Now when I click make admin, we notice that there's a little bit of a problem going on here. I'm trying to update this one. We see that the shield is appearing here, but the background is changing for all of them. I can make a nice enhancement here called should component update. So this is a lifecycle method that is going to perform a logical test to make sure that the component should update. So we're going to send to this component next props, and we will return this props admin is not equal to next props admin. So now if I refresh this, as Webpack Dev Server did for me, it will just change the background of the one that should be updated. Okay, great. So now I want to update our component will update a little bit. We can use next props here too. So instead of setting our background color to green all the time, what we're going to do is this. I'm going to add another inline if else, and I'm going to say if there are next props for admin, we're going to set the color to green. Otherwise, we're going to set the background to purple. So we should see in the output, if I make someone an admin and then remove them as an admin, they become purple. Now, this is kind of cool because they have been an admin at some point, and it's going to keep track of that with that previous props data. So like we can see here, these updating lifecycle methods are super useful.